Repeat after me, it's only one rule. I will not lose.
Okay, so I'm making this video because recently, over the past week, I've been addicted to the ID channel. I think it stands for Investigation Discovery. And this channel mostly plays true crime reenactment documentaries. You know, they're hour long and they have the actual victims, the victims' friends, and like the cops and first responders to help out the people in the situations. The one thing I learned really quick is when there's a story being, told and the victim isn't in the story, basically lets you know the victim died. Like, I know that's a spoiler alert, but after you watch a couple of these episodes, you realize that pretty quick. Like, I'm always like listening and waiting to see who's describing the story and see if it's the actual victim. Because if it ain't the victim, a lot of times they unfortunately died. So after watching, this is literally all I've been watching. Like, my DVR's been full of stuff that I need to watch, but I've been addicted to watching this stuff. So what I realize is I see why people are addicted to true crime stories. Like, I've always liked watching like the documentaries and shows that show people go through stuff, like hoarders and like intervention. I like those shows because for me, it helps me kind of gain knowledge of another side of life, the side that is unfortunate to people who have some kind of mental illness or they're addicted to something. So if I ever run across someone like that, I could have the compassion for them to know, like, a lot of times they can't control what they're doing. I'm not watching true crime stories for having compassion for killers and stuff like that. I'm watching it because I'm criticizing people. I'm fair, and I'm like, why didn't you leave? Dude punched you. The dude pulled a gun out on you. Dude showed up out of nowhere at your family's house that you didn't tell him where they lived. You know, it's informative. It really is. And I would strongly suggest people watching it. I really would, because if you have a friend or if you're that person that's in that situation, if you watch enough of these shows, you will learn real quick. If your ass doesn't up and leave and really ask for that help you need, you could end up being one of these stories. You could end up being dead or seriously hurt or traumatized, So the reason why I'm making this video is because I had a friend recently over Valentine's Day weekend that had her own situation. She was dating a dude, and evidently they got into an argument, and he got aggressive with her, and because she fought back and left marks on him, she was the one that ended up in a holding cell. Now, I know some of you guys would be like, how do you know she didn't start it? Well, I don't know that. I don't. But my friend is not that big. She's not. She's a short girl, And also, I asked her, I was like, hey, you show any forms of aggression before this? And she was like, he's been angry a few times. One time he got angry and he started to damage his own car. I'm like, and you didn't leave it in? She's like, I was so in love. I liked him so much. I'm like, and all I'm thinking about as I'm having this conversation with her is these true crime stories I've been watching. And at this point, I recently just talked to her, like today, I sent her a text and be like, how you doing? You cool? Are you not talking to that dude? And she's like, I'm not talking to him no more. I only see him because he happens to work out at my gym. I was like, well, at least you got away before this shit got bad. Because I told her, I was like, I've been watching a lot of true crime documentaries and shows, and that shit could go bad, like real bad. And then I told her, I've been in 2 situations where I've saved women from these situations, and that's what I'm about to talk about today, or right now, and what I like to call story time. So situation number 1 happened probably about 10 years ago. I was working at a bar. I was bar backing at the time, and there was this couple that was at our bar, and they had literally been there like all day. Now, when you bartend in Vegas, people do this. I kid you not. People will sit at the bar and just sit there and chill and drink all day. And the place that I worked was one of those places where you could have a lot of fun. So you could chill, be entertained, and really bullshit with people and not have to worry about, hey, you're being too loud. So eventually, it's getting later in the night. I think we're getting to a point that we're close to closing at this point. Like, they've been here for a while. And all I remember hearing is my friend, who was the bartender, start screaming, "No, stop it, get off her." And she yells, "Justin." And as soon as I turn around, I just see this dude on top of this girl, punching down on her like an MMA fight, ground and pound her, like MMA style. Like, I kid you not, he was hitting her hard. And I don't know what happened. I just remember reacting. And, we have a bar top. I remember just somehow leaping over this bar top. I don't know if I cleared it or if I bolted off like the bar, but I remember just turning around, seeing what was happening, and then reacting just out of nowhere. And I grabbed the dude, put him in the $1 Million Dream. I'm literally carrying the $1 Million Dream like chokehold, picking him up and slamming his ass on the ground. I'm a big dude. I'm 6'2", and at that time, I had less weight on me, but I was pretty strong. Getting him and slamming on the ground and just like locking him in while, my manager and then went to go get security out of the casino. And I just remember thinking, bro, what are you doing? You don't hit a woman like that. What is wrong with you? And he's like, man, and he's just giving me all these like stupid excuses. Like, I don't care. You don't hit a woman like that for no fucking reason. And I remember just whispering in his ear, because I'm holding him down for it felt like forever. Like, it felt like 5 minutes. It felt like I was just sitting on top of him holding down. And like, he's not making me tired. I really got him pinned to the ground. And I remember just kind of whispering in his ear, if I wasn't on the clock right now, I will fuck you up. Like, you don't hit a woman. Like, all I wanted to do was like just knee this dude in a rib so fucking hard. Like, I wasn't gonna hit him in the face. Like, no. But I wanted to just give him punches to the rib. Just let him know, like, how does it feel when somebody is beating your ass up? So, eventually they take him out. They take the woman out. We never heard from her again after that. I just remember giving a statement, having to write a statement for security and the police. But, it was insane. Like, I personally have never seen anything like that. Somebody, other than people, like friends getting in the fights, I've never seen a dude wail on a female in person. And it was trippy to me. Like, you should know better. You don't ever hit a woman. The only time you should ever hit a woman is if your life's actually in danger. If she's coming at you with like a knife and a gun, it's called that. At that point, it's self-defense. But because she didn't want to go to your room or whatever shit that she said pissed you off, like, you don't do that. So I never heard from her again. I don't think she ever contacted us about, say thank you or anything. Which she didn't. She told me thank you for getting him off of her, but for the most part, I'm pretty sure she was okay. I think there were just two strangers that were talking. They were hooking up. They were kissing. They were legitimately like kissing at some point while sitting in my bar. So they were definitely kind of feeling each other. But something happened and he just went off. So, yeah, that sucked. And the only solace I got is when I slammed him on the ground, evidently I think he was bleeding. So I think I slammed him on his nose or something like that. He deserved it. I don't give a fuck. He deserved it. You don't hit a woman like that. So, that's my first story of that. My second story is something that happened a little bit more recently within the past, at this point, it's like 4 years ago. So I like to work out late. I bartend, so my schedule's a late night schedule. So I remember I was leaving the gym. It's probably like 4 in the morning, and which means I got to the gym like at 2 in the morning. So I'm leaving the gym, and as I'm walking through the parking lot, there's hardly any cars out there at this point, I see a woman run. And then I just look, I'm like, okay. And I walk to my car, unlock the door, and I see this car pull up. Some dude get out of his car and like walk towards the direction where she was going, and then turn around and go back to his car. So I'm thinking, all right, just leave it alone. But at the same time, I was like, this doesn't seem right. Like, this woman was running in the middle of the night. This, go check, at least drive by and see if she's out there somewhere, see if she needs help. So as I leave my gym's parking lot and I hit the corner, I see both of them. They're like, he caught her, and they're like up on like, they're a little higher than me. They're up on, I don't know, it's like a ramp or whatever on the side of this building. And I get in my car and be like, hey, what you doing? He's like, oh, nothing, man. I'm like, my girl's just tripping. We're out drinking, and I'm just trying to get her home. I'm just trying to get in the car. We're okay, man. I appreciate it. I'm like, okay. It was like, man, so you're right? And she really didn't say anything. He's like, I got her, man. Don't worry. Let's just try and get in the car. Let her know it's okay. And like, they start walking towards the back where his car was. So I turn and I leave. I'm like, no, something doesn't seem right. Nothing seems right about this at all. So I turn back around and I come back, and now they're like, they walk to the back of the building, and this car's over there, and they're still like kind of up on this kind of ramp way walk area. They're like a little higher than me. And I'm like, no, man, no. Lady, are you okay? And I finally get a look at her, and she looks shook, and her clothes are torn. And I'm like, nah, bro. It's like, this ain't happening. She's like, and this is when she finally talks. She's like, I don't want to go with him. Like, I don't want to go with him. Like, no, I don't want to go with him. And I was like, look, bro, she don't want to go with you. It ain't fucking happening. And he's like, man, trust me, man, it's my girl. She's just drunk. She's tripping. Like, I'm checking. I was like, I get what you're saying, but the way she looks right now, and as adamant as she is, she ain't going nowhere with you. Now, remember what I said. This is 4 o'clock in the morning. It's only us in the back of a business complex, in the back where like they make deliveries and their trash cans are at. It's just me, this dude, and this girl, and I don't know what this dude got on him. Like, I don't. So I'm like, nah, dude, let her go. I was like, hey, miss, walk out that way and just go to the gym. Go to the gym, tell me you need a phone, call a friend and come pick you up. And she starts walking off. The dude jumps down, and he's like, and she has no shoes on either. I forgot to mention that. She has no shoes on. So she walks off. The dude jumps down, comes talk to me. I'm a little worried because I'm literally in the middle of a domestic dispute. I don't know if this dude has a gun or a knife on him. Like, I don't know. And in the back of my mind is, I could probably get shot right now and just be out here until like the lights come on and somebody sees my car running and my body just dead in the back of this business complex. So he comes down and he's like, hey man, I appreciate what you're doing. I was like, I got you, but you need to go that way and let her be. Like, she doesn't want to go with you, and I'm not gonna allow it. I'm like, I'm not. He's like, all right, man. I was like, he's like, all right, man, I respect that. You just trying to keep her safe. I got that. I'll go home. I'll leave. Let me at least give her shoes. I was like, no. You could give me her shoes. I will find her because I told her where to go. I'll give her shoes. It'll be okay. So he gives me her shoes. And he's like, hey, man, thanks for checking out. You know, that's a good look. You're a good Samaritan. You know, she's just tripping, man. I just want to get her home. I was like, I got you. I hear what you're saying. You need to go that way. She'll be okay. I promise you, she'll be okay. So the dude gets in his car. He leaves normal. Doesn't peel off or anything. He just leaves normal. I go try to find her and see like if she's going towards the gym. So I drive back around in the front of the buildings, and I find her. And I'm like, hey, he's gone. Here are your shoes. Are you okay? She's like, no, I just need to get to my friend's house. I'm like, okay, so where does your friend live near here? She's like, yeah, my friend just lives up the street in this apartment complex that's literally like a mile away. And I was like, if you want, I can take you there. Like, I have no problem. And then I feel a little bit safer that you're at least not going to walk there, because she had decided to walk her happy ass to her friend's house. So she gets in my car, and I take her to her friend's complex. So she's calling her friend. She's letting her friend know, hey, I'm coming over, blah, 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 blah. So when we get into the complex, we have to wait for the gate to open. The gate opens, and then I was like, where does your friend live? She's like, she lives around here. I can't remember for sure, and we're driving around. Next thing I know, dude's car rolls up on me in this complex. And I'm like, shit. I'm really like, shit, no fucking way. And the dude looks out the window and say, you gonna go home with me, but you gonna go home with this nigga? Really? I'm like, bro, I'm not doing anything with this girl. I'm trying to get her home safe. She wanted to come to her friend's house. That's all I'm trying to do. It's like, for real, man? You're gonna try to roll with him, try to take him around. I was like, bro, you need to chill the fuck out. I'm just trying to get her home safe. So since we're just sitting here arguing, this complex has some active security guards. Good for them, because my complex sucks ass. We don't got no active security guards. This lady comes out, and she's like, what's going on here? This dude was like, he has my girl. I'm just trying to get her home. Then I was like, no, and no. They were having this domestic dispute. I got him to leave her alone. I'm bringing her to her friend's house so she could be safe. And then she's like, miss, are you okay? She's like, I don't want to go with him. And then the security guard tells the dude, like, you need to leave right now before we call the cops on you. So dude, pissed off, says, fuck you, bitch, and then floors it out. The lady was like, go to the front of the building, we'll let you in. I was like, okay, and we'll call the police for you. So we go to the front of the building. Like I said, this girl's clothes are torn. Like, kid you not, boobie was hanging out. Like, her clothes were torn. So security at this complex gives her like a towel to wrap herself up in, and she ends up calling her friend, and her friends end up coming down, and then that security calls the actual police. So we're sitting there, and her friends are like, thank you for like bringing her here. I was like, no problem. It's like, I was raised around women. Like, I would want somebody to do that for my mom if she's in that situation, for my aunt and my cousins that I used to live with them in that situation, for my friends, or just for any woman or any dude that's in a bad situation. I would hope someone would step up. And, you know, sure enough, the cops come, they get her statement, they get mine, and the security guard tells me, it's like, that dude, they were like, that car came into our complex and was speeding around the complex. That's the reason why I showed up to where you guys were so quick and why the cops got here so quick, because we saw him speeding around. So evidently when he left, he drove straight to that complex and was waiting. That's why he like saw me show up, you know, because he was waiting for her to arrive. I don't know what happened after that. I just remember the cop talking about, you know, very few people step in and intervene. I'm like, I told him, like, I'm not even gonna front. Like, there was moments when I was scared because I didn't know if this dude had a gun on him. I didn't know, or a knife. But that's it. That's really it. I don't know what happened to her. Her friends took her. I hope she probably didn't press charges. Most likely she didn't, but I hope she didn't end up going back out with that dude, because like, it was bad. But I wanted to talk about this because, like I said, watching the ID channel, hearing what happened to my friend made me think of this, and I had plans on kind of doing a thing called story time, where I just kind of tell stories about my life, good points, bad points, and everything in between. This just happens to be one of those stories where, you know, the situations were bad. And all I gotta say is, for any of you that are out there that are victims of some kind of abuse from your significant other, you really have to go get help. You really have to get yourself out of that situation, because a lot of times those situations end up deadly. And I know it hurts. I know you feel like you're in love, but if somebody loves you, they don't inflict pain on you. They don't. And that sounds preachy as hell, but it's the God honest truth. So all I gotta say is I know this pandemic's making it harder for a lot of people because we're stuck in the house. We really can't go anywhere. Even if you're in that situation where you're stuck in the house with this person, call a friend, call a family. Like, those people will be there for you. They will be, and don't go back. Don't go back. Nobody changes. That person is that person. If they're that violent and willing to do something vicious to you, they're gonna keep doing it. Because if you go back, you're letting them know it's okay. Like, I always tell people this, like, if I rob a bank and nothing happens to me, I'm gonna keep robbing that bank. And if I ever get caught and all they say is, don't rob the bank no more, you're free to go, I'm gonna keep robbing that bank. So you going back is basically letting him know he can rob your bank. So I know this is a sad story, but it's a true one. I hope this brings awareness to you guys. And if you have the ID channel and you're addicted to true crime, or if you just happen to be in the bad situation, watch that channel. Watch the real negative effects of staying in a bad situation can be, because it can be deadly. It can be deadly. So with that being said, you guys, thanks for watching my video. Sorry if it was like a not happy video, but I feel like this had to be told just because of what happened to my friend. So if you appreciate it, I thank you. If you have your own stories to tell and you want to have a conversation with me about it, you can send me a message on Twitter or Instagram. We can talk about it. If not, share this video with some friends that you may know that's in that situation. Maybe they'll get some clarity. Want to wake up, Not a lot of people will intervene because it's really risky nowadays to, jump into a domestic dispute. But wouldn't you want somebody to help you out? Don't just walk away. Like, help those people out. But I gotta stop being preachy in this video. So thank you guys for all your support. Be safe out there. Reach out to loved ones if you're in a bad situation, because they will take care of you. I'll catch you next time.
Repeat after me, there's only one rule. I will not lose.